another OST video. This is actually not a part of the OST review series that I normally do on this channel. Today what I'm going to be doing is more of like a discussion video, you know what I'm saying? I want to do like a little debate video today. Kind of like a more chill video, not too much edits, not too much extra stuff. I do want to get more OST reviews out the way eventually, but today I want to do a discussion video, me just kind of speaking with you, me just kind of talking, I guess, through the video, talking to you in a way about how I feel about the Deltarune Chapter 1 OST and the Deltarune Chapter 2 OST, and which one do I think is, again, which one do I think is better, as you can see by the title, as you can see by the thumbnail, all of this. Which one do I prefer, Deltarune Chapter 1 or Deltarune Chapter 2? I'm going to try not to talk too much because I don't want to throw too many edits on here. I want to make this a more chill video, you know what I'm saying, a more relaxed video. I got the OST of both Deltarune Chapter 1 and Deltarune Chapter 2 playing in the background right now. I don't want to make this too complicated, but more of a speaking video, more like similar to like a podcast, you know what I'm saying? Just me speaking. Which one is better? Which one do I prefer? And I'm gonna have a couple of different categories here right in front of me, about just OST categories, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, we're just going to kind of get into it, but we got 5 different categories that I'm going to be speaking about. And again, I don't have an extra script, none of this extra stuff. I'm not putting like extra energy. I'm not acting all crazy in the videos like I usually do, although I mean, I got plenty of videos like that if you want to check them out. But right now, I'm just going to be chilling. I'm chilling with you and I'm talking with you about which one is better, you know what I'm saying? So I think I got 5 different categories right now that I have to speak about. So one is tone matching is the first category we're going to be talking about. Which one of these OSTs here, Deltarune Chapter 1 or Deltarune Chapter 2, which one matches the tone of the game the best? Then we got the quality of the tracks in general is the next thing that I want to speak about. Then we got the diversity of just the OSTs in general. Then we got the impact, so like the impact of the entire Deltarune series, I guess, or like the impact of like just the impact in general on the way that the games play and just in the public eye in general. Which one do I think had a bigger impact? And then enhancements, so like how much does this OST enhance the game? Like it's sort of similar to like tone matching, how well it matches the tone of the game, but instead of like matching the tone, how does it enhance the tone? How much more does it like make the tone even better than it already feels? Like it enhances the tone, you know what I'm saying? More than just matching the tone. So again, I'm just kind of going to get into it. I'm just going to get into speaking a little bit about both of these OSTs. Now, I love both of these OSTs, Deltarune Chapter 1 and Deltarune Chapter 2. Again, I love both of them. I love Deltarune Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. I love both of these OSTs. Chapter 1, I listened to a whole bunch, and Chapter 2, I've listened to a whole bunch. Now, I'm not going to speak on which one I prefer right now. I'm not going to do all that. I'm just kind of going to get into the categories immediately here. But again, I love both these OSTs, so be sure. I don't think I got too much bias with this. I think I've gotten a decent look at both of these OSTs right now. Of course, Deltarune Chapter 2 is a bit more fresh in my mind, so do keep that in mind. I played through Deltarune Chapter 2 very recently. Chapter 1, it's been a long time since I played Deltarune Chapter 1, since like it came out practically like, well, more like 2019, but it's been a minute, you know what I'm saying? So now, let's get into this. The tone matching. So which one of these OSTs do I think matches the tone of the game better? Now, this one's actually not really a hard decision for me to make, right? Now, with Deltarune Chapter 1, I've spoken about this before in like previous videos. I think Deltarune Chapter 1 didn't really have its own like established feel for the game itself as to how the songs are going to sound all in one, you know what I'm saying? Like there was no really big decision, I think, by Toby as to like, okay, this is the type of style of music that I want to use, or this is like the tone, the feeling, this is the kind of feeling I want to portray with these songs that I'm making right now. Deltarune Chapter 1 was very like, it had a bunch of different kind of sounding music, you know. There was intense songs, there was chill songs, it was everywhere kind of. It was not even just with that, but it was everywhere. It didn't have like the OST didn't have one main focus to it. It was just Deltarune. This is the way that I'm just gonna have these songs that are gonna bring out these parts in Deltarune, and that's what it is. Now, Deltarune Chapter 2 is a bit different. I think Deltarune Chapter 2, like I spoke on before, I think it definitely has its own build as to what it wants to do. You know, Deltarune Chapter 2 is very focused on like the cyber technology type of feeling, you know, with all the environments that look like that, you know, the city environment, the cyber world, the welcome to the city, or just that whole city place in general, that whole spot. And just that was a lot of the game. And then of course it was also big on emotion as well, which was very powerful within the OST, very strong. Those kind of things were very powerful, and I think the OST did have its own like category to it, being like in relation to cyber technology and like emotion as well. Deltarune, the chapter 1 didn't really have that, while chapter 2 did. And I think that that really makes it so when Toby, he had a focus within this chapter 2 OST. The fact that Toby had a focus, I think it really gave him a lot more leeway to make these songs match the tone of the game better, because he knew exactly what he wanted to make these songs sound like and exactly what he wanted to create, especially being able to bounce off of Deltarune chapter 1 after, you know, just all of that. So I definitely think that chapter 2 matches the tone a bit better when it comes to just the tone matching. When it comes to the way that the songs match the tone of the video game, I think that chapter 2 does it a little bit better than chapter 1, just because chapter 1 was a lot more, it was a lot less focused, while chapter 2 knew where it was going, and I think it made it more simple for Toby to really make these songs match more with the game, because there was something that he was trying to match off of already when he first started making the OST, or just throughout the time he was making the OST. Again, yeah, that's kind of the way, and I just overall feel like chapter 2 does match a little bit better. You know, Cyberworld is just so perfect. Chapter 1 matches very, very well, so it's kind of like, this is a tough decision to make, but overall with my feeling, just the way that I kind of feel overall with it, I think chapter 2 matches better just off of that, you know what I'm saying? So hopefully that's good. But now, track quality. Overall, how do I feel about the quality of these tracks? Which one of these games do I think has better quality tracks? Now, this ain't a very fun one for me to try and decide, because chapter 1 and chapter 2 are built very, very similar, I feel like. With the way that the OSTs are formatted, like not formatted, but I think the way the OSTs, the purpose of the songs within these OSTs are very similar. Now chapter 2, like, I mean, they have different tones set, so chapter 1 has, it's kind of everywhere with the tone, while chapter 2 is very, very strongly set on the cyber world and the cyber environment as well as emotion. But I think that the structure of both is very similar in terms of chapter 1 and chapter 2 both have their bangers, they both have their songs that are very, very great, and then they also have their environment fillers, the songs that are just there to fill the environments within the game. So this one's really a tough one, because I think they both have very similar quality tracks. Now I think so let's say songs like A Cyber World was sort of like the equivalent, I think, in chapter 2 to oh, this song is annoying. So I think that, like, the song yeah, I don't care, I'm not cutting none of this junk out. I think the chapter 1's like the Field of Hopes and Dreams song was sort of like the equivalent to A Cyber's World theme in Deltarune chapter 2. I liked Field of Hopes and Dreams better, most definitely. And then also with there's also like Quiet Autumn's another really good one. Welcome to the City is a great track as well. It's not my favorite one though. It's like, I don't know, I think that the 8-bit beginning of Welcome to the City doesn't, like, of the song itself, like, you know, how the beginning sounds very 8-bit, like very retro like, and then it goes into sound a bit more sound way different and not really match well with the whole 8-bit, like the part after the 8-bit ends, like not too far into the song. I don't know, I think Deltarune chapter 2 has some very, very quality songs, but I just think that chapter 1, I don't know why, but there was no song that I think didn't really hit the nail on the head when it came to, like, a quality track. Field of Hopes and Dreams was, like, composed perfectly, like, you know, they had its more chill, more quiet parts, but every single more chill, quiet part transitioned perfectly. Now songs like this Lost Girl, this chapter 2 definitely does a lot better of a job, I think, enhancing emotion and enhancing your feelings with the music in this game. Chapter 2 does it a lot better, I will say that right now. Chapter 2 with the songs that it uses, like this song right here, you can hear it, Lost Girl. I think that this song was so great at enhancing the moment that was very emotional within the game. It did that amazingly well, and it's much better at enhancing emotion, it definitely is. But with overall track quality itself, because those don't really align. I mean, track quality is kind of there, but it doesn't really line up with, like, how much the songs can enhance emotion in the game and not even be super high quality, you know what I'm saying? Not be super great songs that you will sit back and listen to, but they still enhance emotions, like the Ferris Wheel song in Deltarune chapter 2. That's not a super, like, I mean, I would listen to that song if I'm, like, in a specific moment to do it, but I'm not gonna sit back and just listen to the Ferris Wheel song while I'm, like, just anywhere, you know what I'm saying? It's not a very high quality track. I mean, that's just kind of the way that it is. It's very simplistic, very, very simplistic, and but it's simplistic for a good reason, but it's not super, super high quality. That's just me being real as to my perspective. I think that overall, I think chapter 1 does a better job with the high quality because of the standards that it has to fill. Chapter 1, it had to fill the standards of high quality tracks, because there wasn't a main base for Deltarune chapter 1 compared to Deltarune chapter 2 that had a main base to it, and it was like, okay, these tracks have to sound similar to, like, the cyber world and sound similar to like the emotion as well in the cyber world, the cyber technology type of feeling. While with Deltarune Chapter 1, it was like, okay, these tracks just gotta kind of sound good, and that's what it is. These tracks gotta sound good for each environment, you know what I'm saying? So I think Chapter 1 was a lot more focused on specifically just quality. Chapter 2 was focused on quality as well as fitting the style, while Chapter 1 was like strictly focused on quality. And I think that definitely shows that Chapter 1, I think that just overall the track quality is a little bit better because of that focus, you know what I'm saying? And because that's the way that the songs sound to me. Some songs just sound a lot more quality. Like, I mean, again, Field of Hopes and Dreams, Quiet Autumn just is another really quality track, you know what I'm saying? So of course Pandora Palaces too, but there's just some in Deltarune Chapter 2 that are more emotion fillers, more environment fillers, I think, and are strongly focused on that more than Chapter 1, you know what I'm saying? Now the next thing that I want to speak about is diversity. Okay, now I know I'm talking quite a bit. This one's going to be pretty simple for me. Diversity, it's going to Chapter 1. The reason diversity is going to Chapter 1 is because Chapter 1 has a lot more, again, the focus of Deltarune Chapter 1 seems to be a lot more focused on the being diverse, being different, every single song matching different environments, and there's different environments all over this game. Chapter 2 is a bit different. Environments are very similar in specific areas, you know, like the cyber world and the city world are both very focused on cyber technology. They look incredibly different, don't get me wrong, but they're all focused on a similar purpose, and they're all focused on a similar category, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely think that Deltarune Chapter 1 does better with diversity because it has to. Again, not a big focus. The diverse, like the tracks of diversity. There's no song in this junk that sounds like Field of Hopes and Dreams. There's no songs that sound even like the castle theme all that much, or like the or like the town theme. Just all the themes in this whole, or Quiet Autumn. I don't know if I already said that, but all these junks sound very different. All these songs sound very different. Or the school theme, you know what I'm saying? While, you know, with Deltarune Chapter 2, of course the Pandora Palace is very different, but like the cyber theme versus like the cyber theme is kind of like in a similar category to the like the themes that the robots had, like when I get happy I dance like this, when I get mad I dance like this. I just imagine listening to those songs, all of these, a whole group of these songs like that from Deltarune Chapter 2. I imagine myself listening to them in like an advanced computer lab. So it's a bit like, you know, it's kind of it's rough for me to be able to say that Deltarune Chapter 2 is more diverse. Now, do I think that it has to be? No. Like, overall, to make the OST better, I don't. But I think that that is a category that I would put it in just because of the impact in general. Still, Chapter 2, I think it could still be a great OST even without a whole bunch of or even without as much diversity as Chapter 1. It doesn't have to, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to have all that. But, I mean, Chapter 1 has more diversity. That's just what it is, you know what I'm saying? Now, impact. The impact in general on the Deltarune video game, the Deltarune game itself. Whew. No, again, gonna have to give it to Chapter 1. The reason is because Chapter 1 started it all. It's just as simple as that. Now, again, these categories they're kind of interesting categories overall, I think, but I need to, maybe if like there's any like ideas for other different categories, or like if I could try to put more categories into these videos, let me know. But I do think Chapter 1, impact of course on the game, impact on the community in general, Deltarune Chapter 1 started it all off, and it definitely created the basis as well, I think, for some of the songs for Deltarune Chapter 2, like or just the way that Chapter 2 is structured, you know, how there's songs that there's like very short songs that are meant to fill these specific environments and fill these specific moments. There's different moments within Deltarune Chapter 2 that are just like, these are like those impactful moments that you should pay attention to, with shorter songs, but songs that are really gonna like impact you, or like moments that are gonna impact you, you know what I'm saying? Those are like those specific moments, like the song with the Ferris wheel in Chapter 2, or like the Lost Girl theme, similar to like with Chapter 1, this one right here, You Can Always Come Home, or which is a shorter song, right? Or songs, other moments as well. There's moments all over Chapter 1 that are like that as well. I mean, again, that's kind of like the way that I feel. I think Chapter 1 definitely started that off, though. The structure of these OSTs. Bangers, environment fillers, and that kind of goes for like a lot of the environments in the game itself, which is not a bad thing. There's like those moments where you just like, you're in the game and you're ready and you're listening to this like this really good song, and you're just in it. You're in it to keep on moving, and you're in it to win it. While then afterwards there's going to be those more like those moments when you're very kicked back, listening to a more short but relaxed song and thinking, okay, what is next with this game? What is next for the story? You know, and I think a lot of games do that kind of thing, but the way that Deltarune structures it is just, it's so specific to its own kind of ways, you know. I think that Deltarune Chapter 1 definitely created the base for how Toby Fox is going to structure Deltarune Chapter 2, and I think that already overall, that's like Chapter 1's probably going to be the most influential OST overall, because I think all chapters are going to be very, very different. All chapters are going to have their own sound to them, while chapter 1 didn't really have that. You know, it really was like, chapter 1 was more of like the basis for all the chapters in general, for how they're going to be structured, but all chapters are going to sound different. I kind of feel that way, and I hope I hope I'm getting my point across well with that, you know what I'm saying? Now, the last one that I want to talk about is going to be enhancements. So, okay, let me put this up. I'll put this up a little bit. Enhancements. Which one of these OSTs has, like, enhances the game better, makes the game pop out even more than the game already felt like it was? Now, I'm going to say this about Deltarune Chapter 1. I think Deltarune Chapter 1 was very, very strongly focused on tone matching, and every single environment matching the tone with quality tracks. Tracks as quality as they could possibly be. Now with Chapter 2, I definitely think that it was definitely focused on fitting one fitting you know, a specific category of like cyber technology, while also, like, I think Toby Fox got better at tone enhancing. I think Toby Fox got better at like enhancing tones for specific parts of the OST, you know what I'm saying? Now, I think Chapter 1 has more quality tracks, but I think that Chapter 2 has more, how can I put this? I think that Chapter 2 has more enhancing types of tracks, probably because Toby Fox knew what he was going for again, which is sort of similar to like tone matching, enhancements. And like Toby Fox does a really good job at tone matching with these games, while also the songs like being like match the tone of the environment, while also enhancing the environment and making the environment feel a lot better, because Toby knew what he was going for. So he was able to build off of it a lot more strong than he was able to in Deltarune Chapter 1. And that just like makes the environments pop out. The cyber world theme, of course, Field and Hopes and Dreams is like kind of like an exception to like, this is like one of the, probably my favorite track out of both of these OSTs, being completely honest with you. But Deltarune Chapter 2, I think that the way, like, you know, the cyber world enhances the cyber theme. Again, I just put so much, I talk about the cyber theme so much because I love that theme and I play it a lot. The cyber world theme, a cyber's world. I think that the cyber's world enhances that cyber environment so much, so strongly, so powerfully. I think that cyber track, you know, a cyber's world, I think it enhances that so well. Welcome to the City does it as well. The Pandora's Palace. The Pandora's Palace was definitely another one that was very, very enhancing for that mansion. You know, it matched the tone very well, while also it like enhanced the feeling and made you like really want to go for a jog, made you want to go for a run into this palace. You know, Toby, again, he easily could have just made the tone of the Pandora's Palace, he could have made it seem so relaxed, seem very chill, not be all that like significant, but he didn't do that. Instead, what he did was he made it sound crazy and made it so that you could just run through this palace and just, or you want to run through this palace, because the song that's playing is so fast paced, so high tone, so strong. So I think that overall, Deltarune, again, this song right here though, The Legend, is like an exception for Chapter 1. This song definitely is like very, very powerful in the moment, but I think it matches the moment perfectly though. I don't think that its tone, it's very, very enhancing, but I think that the moment kind of had to be that way. Tone matching. This matched the tone very, very well. But I think overall, with enhancing the environments and changing up the feeling of each different environment within Chapter 2 and like compared to Chapter 1, I think that Chapter 2 does that a little bit better. That's again the way that I feel, and hopefully I explained that well, you know what I'm saying. But anyways, that's all that I really got to say for this video today. Hopefully this was more of a chill one. Hopefully this was more of a cool one. Kind of had to get this one out a little bit quick because, I mean, it's kind of late and I've been very, very busy, but I did want to get out a video for this day or for tomorrow when I'm going to upload this. So hopefully this is a good video. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I thank you for everything. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for everything. Truly. Thank you. Hopefully this is a good video. Again, thank you. Peace.